Before we get into today's episode, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Open Doors, Open Mind YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and on our other social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook and now TikTok. Links to all will be in the description below.
You have to dedicate yourself to something for 100 hours in a year, which actually just equates to being 18 minutes a day. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon and good evening. Depends when you're watching this or listening to this.
That's very true.
Yeah, I'm thinking about everyone here. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing good.
Welcome to the podcast. I never know what it's called. What's it called? What's it called? Open what?
Open Doors, Open Minds.
Yeah, you get it right every time.
I know, it was me that come up with the name.
That's true. It's a good name. Last week's episode was quite nice.
It was a very good episode.
It was quite light.
I opened quite a few doors.
God damn it. Okay, cool. We have a format of the show now, don't we, Scott? So
We do.
What do we start with straight away?
Check in.
Bing bong. Are you checking in with me or am I checking in with you?
Oh, we were checking with both of each other.
Oh,
So, obviously,
you first.
I was going to get you go first. Because obviously,
No, you go first.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. As you would put it, from a scale of 1 to 10, I reckon I'm a good 6 today.
A 6?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Why?
Why? I've done, since obviously we went out and had pint on Friday,
We did.
I took some time out and stopped doing all that, the sheds and bits and pieces, all the other, but I just took a breather because it seems like I was working 7 days a week, just constantly doing and not having any time for myself. So I just decided, right, okay, I'm going to take the weekend off, hit it Monday, and it seems to have, that little breather kind of put everything into concept. And yeah, I've been busy ever since.
I don't know. Is that the highest number you've had since doing the show?
Do you know what? I don't actually know.
I have no idea either, but I think it's up there.
It's a decent one. Obviously, I'm doing a lot more things to kind of stabilise. I say stabilise, that probably sounds like the wrong word. I'm doing a lot more mindfulness stuff in the sense of, like, I get up in the mornings. I find if I put a routine together and I get up at a certain time and I do certain things before I start my day and all the rest of it seems to kind of like flow properly.
Nice.
So, yes, that seems to be working.
I'm glad it's good. We're halfway through the week, which is always...
Yeah, it might not be the same by Friday, but right now, on Wednesday,
Hey,
it's working.
What did I say last week? Life.
Ups and downs as you go. So, on that note,
Yes.
how are you?
I'm okay. I've been feeling quite tired, actually, lately. Just work's been asking me to go different places all the time, and there's a lot of travelling, and I've got some other things to do at the end of the month and through August. My godkids are over this week as well, so we've got loads of stuff to plan and plan.
Is that for the summer holidays and bits and pieces?
Yeah, they're off for summer holidays already. They're from Ireland, and so they're coming over for 4 days tomorrow. So yeah, that'd be fun. I'm really looking forward to them. They're 10 twins, boy and girl, and my friend Sue. So it'd be really nice to just chill out with them. We've got so many things that we're doing.
So I can imagine you're not one of these people, oh, just chill out for the day, let's go do something.
Oh no, they planned this about 5 months ago. The kids told me exactly what they wanted to do, so that's what we're doing. We're going to Chessington, we're going to London, we're doing Millennium Eye, we're doing London Dungeons, we're doing a bus tour, and yeah, so full on.
You're going to need a holiday just to get over the...
I need a new bank account. Yeah, so I probably, like, I always say that no one can say 7 because it's such a generic number, just like 7. So you either have to be a 6 or 8 in that sort of way if you're feeling good about yourself. So I'm going to probably say, I don't know, like 6 as well.
You're 6 as well. That's not a
Yeah.
bad one, I think. Because obviously, as you would say, ups and downs, ups and downs. So has it been positive since the last...
Yeah, I think so. I think there's stuff that you always have to deal with, and the problem is that in life that we have quite a few like huge things at highs, the things you look forward to, like a holiday or going to a concert or going to a sporting event, and that's cool. And then the next day you're like, oh, I'm just walking the dog, picking up poo. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, yesterday I was doing something awesome, and today I'm just doing the mundane, and that's fine because it allows it to be awesome.
Because it allows you to get something to look forward to, right?
Yeah.
So are you actually looking forward to doing all that stuff you just said there?
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be great because, I've got 3, you know this already, I've got like maybe 3 years left before they don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
When you become uncool.
they're like 11 this year, and so the 14 are like, I don't want to do any of that stuff.
Let's just play computer and just chill out.
And then they do come back. My nephew's come back now. He's like nearly 16, and he's like
They
quite
go through that awkward stage of life.
talkative. Yeah, and as long as you talk on their level about stuff they want to talk about and not what I want to talk about, then it's fine. Just find middle ground.
Middle ground. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
I call it awkwardness. Yeah, okay. You tell me when you want to talk about it. So, like, you go, do you have a good day at school? Yeah.
It's the same as like, how was work today? It's all right. You know what I mean? Those questions are exactly the same. They don't want to tell you because nothing happened.
But something obviously did happen.
Like what?
He'd done something at school today. He just went there and can't remember it.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. Can you remember how much of your school life you can remember? Even of the day when you were there. And you
Yeah,
came
the
back, what
naughty
happened?
side of what I got to.
Exactly. You telling your parents that? No.
No, of course not. I get that.
Yeah.
So, obviously, this leads us into...
Tips and tricks. I've got a good one.
Go on, then.
I don't know if you've heard about the 100-hour rule.
100-hour rule.
Yeah, 100-hour rule. Have you heard of this?
No.
No. Okay. So, you have to dedicate yourself to something for 100 hours in a year, which actually just equates to being 18 minutes a day.
Ah, yes. Sorry. Yes, I do. I didn't know it was 100 hours, but yes,
Yeah,
I've had the 18
so
minutes.
18 minutes a day, every single day
Yeah.
for a year. And if you do that in any discipline, if you do that, you will be better than 95% of people in the world in that discipline.
Now, that is just 18 minutes a day,
18 minutes a day,
7 days a week.
every single day.
What should we try?
I don't know. I like to see you like with the oboe or like the trumpet or something. 80 minutes a day, just trying to learn how to do
I'll
it.
be
Think what you'd
90
be like in like 95% better than anyone else in the world in that discipline.
See, I would have used it as in doing something 18 minutes a day for the mental health side of it all.
Yeah, that's really vague though. I can't measure that.
Of course you could, because if your mental health is now, so like we're obviously only getting 5s and 6s,
Yeah.
in a year's time, it will be...
It's a high fall though if you stay at 10s.
Do you reckon anybody actually gets to 10? Even with all the tips and tricks and everything we're doing?
I think you can look back and you were a 10. I don't.
Do you realise when you think you're at a 10, do you actually...
No, you have to look back. You can't be like, I'm 10 today. Because how can you be 10 when you don't know that something even better could happen? You could be a 10 and then win the lottery. What? You can't be 11.
No, that's very true. Yeah. I'm a 10 and I win the lottery, you're just set for life.
I think it has to be in a discipline. And I don't know if you can just generically say mental health. I could do 18 minutes a day. What does that mean?
Working on yourself?
No, because other people will mess it up around you. So you can't. It doesn't
Okay.
work that way.
So we'll stick to 18 minutes.
Yeah, if you were wanting to do tennis or you wanted to do playing a musical instrument, if you wanted to free dive, if you wanted to, loads of different things, climbing, language. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
Language,
I'm
I quite like that idea. 18 minutes a day.
18 minutes a day.
In a year's time, you'd be, 95 in the top 95?
Yeah, of the discipline, yeah. That's how lazy people are.
That just shows you 18 minutes a day isn't a very big thing, is it? Out of a 24-hour window.
I guarantee no one does anything for 80 minutes a day of the same thing all the time that will make you better.
No.
Like, no one has that discipline, really. That's why it says 95%, because no one really does have that, because you'll miss something. You'll be ill, you've got to go to a funeral, something else happens. There'll be something that you're like, I don't have time for that today.
Life.
But you do. Everyone has time for 18 minutes. You just choose not to. Sorry.
Did you want to get that in front of the...
Just, if you need a little help, it's fine. I'm here for you. What about you? What's yours?
So basically, from last week's one, obviously tips and tricks, people have asked, and obviously for me to mention out there, if you want to tell us your tips and tricks, things that have helped you.
We will steal them and use them for ourselves.
But I think that's what a lot of people have said. Some people have put into what we've said, and have obviously learned on their journey different things that have helped them, and obviously want us to be the voice for telling other people how to use it or do it or how it works and why it worked for them and bits and pieces. We've got a fair few guests that want to come on.
We haven't had a guest for ages.
No, I've had to kind of put him in an order because there's so many.
Well, because Jack and Chelsea, the guest people, we're just us.
Yeah, it's kind of got a
I'm
bit.
your guest.
Oh,
There you go.
Are you?
Be our guest. Be our guest. Da 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 da. Name the musical. Go. Can you name it? Where's that from?
I don't know.
What? You have a daughter.
What?
You have a daughter.
Yeah.
You don't know Beauty and the Beast?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, is that where it's from?
Yeah.
I recognised it, just didn't know what it was from. What?
Yeah, so carry on.
So, obviously, my next tip and trick that I've learned, a new one this week, that's kind of helped me. Oh, I've used it before, but obviously didn't. I put it back into play again because it kind of works. The routine, doing certain things, whether it's in the morning or in the evening, the routine of it is also knowing it's coming, is also helps me, right, okay, I'm going to do this, then go to sleep. And I find that I kind of switch off easier to go to sleep rather than going, oh, okay, right, planning for the next day. I kind of worried about what's happening now rather than what's happening tomorrow, because what I end up doing is sitting there at night time going, okay, tomorrow I've got to do this, and just keep, and then obviously it just goes round and round and round. So routine has helped me this week by getting up at a certain time, doing certain things in a routine, all right, having a coffee, putting the world to rights in my head, okay, right, what have I got planned for that day? And then executing, or kind of writing a list down of what I've got to do for the day. All right, I tick it off as I go. It may not be in order of what I've written. One thing may come in front of the other, but if it doesn't get done, it's not the end of the world. Put it on for the following day.
Perfect.
And just switch off.
And that's how you work. That's the best way that you work. Yeah.
That's how I work. Obviously, I've been worried about, I'm trying to juggle the podcast, I'm trying to juggle the people, I'm trying to juggle my kids. And it got so messy that people were like, well, you're not responding, you're not saying thank you, you're not doing this, you're not. And it was like, I'm trying to juggle too many balls in one day rather than go, right, on a Wednesday, I'm going to be doing this. On a Thursday, I'm doing this. Rather than trying to do everything on that one day or respond to every single person.
You're trying to be more Craig David. On Monday, do a podcast on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Then we're talking to Jack and Chelsea. And on Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, that's going to make an awesome clip.
I'm always here for light relief. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I think it's a good thing for anyone to try and put things down into sort of their notes and like what they're going to do today and what they need to get done and stuff like that. And also, you said it last week, you just do it. Like, instead of thinking about doing it more than 3 times,
Yes.
if you do it the first or second time, then you don't have to think about it the third and fourth and fifth time. And I think that makes your life a lot better. Like,
It
I
makes
didn't respond
it
to that person.
structured.
Yeah,
A little bit easier
yeah,
for me.
yeah. And I phoned up my breakdown cover and changed my car after a year of paying for it for the other car because I forgot.
Are you still paying for your gym membership?
No, well, I'm paying for it being paused.
Paying for it to be paused, to
Yeah.
not go.
Yeah, because if I cancel that and then resubscribe, then I have to pay the fee,
Joining fee
yeah,
again.
joining fee again. I don't want to do that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's fine. Was it £6? It's fine.
£6.
Yeah, a month to not go.
To not, you're paying £6 not to go.
Yeah, but pay that over the course of like a month. What is the breakdown of that? Of £6 a month? What was that a day?
So it's 4.4, isn't it?
Yeah,
Divide it by 4.4.
so we can't do basic maths right away. Yeah, so I'm 6 divided by, let's see, 30. So it literally is 20p a day. So come on, I'm paying 20p a day not to go to the gym. That's fine. I can do that.
Is that helping you? Is it?
Yeah, amazing.
And what's the rejoining fee?
I don't know, maybe like 50, 60 pounds, something like that.
So if you don't go for a year, it would have been easy to cancel.
Yeah, but I'm not going to not go for a year. I will go back. I'm just not feeling it at the moment. So that's fine.
And why are you not feeling it?
Because it's not my place that I feel that I need as much as other people. That's their focus. I do other things.
So what do you actually do to help your own mental health?
I walk the dog like 3 hours a day.
That's a hyperactive dog.
She's like, not again.
I
Not again, Dad.
I met
I don't want to go out. Leave me
Really?
alone. Yeah. She doesn't.
Oh, she gets to that stage where she doesn't want to go out.
Oh yeah, she'll go out because I'm going out, but she doesn't need it. She definitely doesn't need that. That's for me.
So obviously when I've seen you like up by Angerfield Estate, that's for you more than the dog.
Yeah, getting outside, feeling the fresh air. You know,
Because I didn't realise, it wasn't until I see you on the other side of that wall did I realise there was an actual path down that goes all the way along that field.
what?
Did not know that.
What?
No, didn't. It was. I was like, how is he? Oh, and then
It's because you don't have a dog, so we haven't done these walks.
no.
I could take you on some walks. You'll be like, Dan, we've been gone for 2 hours. I'm like, yep.
Because obviously at the moment I walk all the way up Meadow Way, round, up Dead Man's Lane, round by the golf course, up and then back round again.
It's not a very nice walk though.
No, I've now included obviously Arnold.
There's nicer walks. There's nicer walks.
Yeah, I kind of worked that out. Well, obviously, where's he going then?
You
'Cause-
go by the canal. Great walks.
well, I
Absolute
would have
banging
said
walks.
that, but my kids were doing that, and they someone held them up.
Someone held them up.
Yeah, literally, guy riding on walking back
With
down the
what?
canal,
A gun?
rode up to them and basically said, "Yeah, pulled a knife," and said, "Give me your phones and your bags."
I'd push them in the canal.
Yeah, but apparently it's happened quite a few times down by the picnic area. There's a guy around there that's robbing the kids.
I don't
as
get
they
that
come
way. I
past.
get the other way.
Yeah, you turn right when they were going off to your left.
Yeah, I don't get
Towards
to
the
the
lakes and bits of
like,
space.
yeah, I get the other way.
Yeah.
It's probably better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is not ideal, but that doesn't happen every day. So.
No, it doesn't happen every
also,
day.
who is going to hold you up?
Mia?
No one.
No, it's just
No.
like, no. It's a grown guy apparently that's doing it, but
Of course it is. It's not going to be like
yeah, he doesn't pick on
actual people his own
grown
size.
ups.
No. Give me your phone. How many phones do you reckon he's got? How many do you need?
He's obviously selling for a reason, right?
Can't sell phones now. They're all locked.
Well, that's what I thought. Why would you want their bag and their phones? He took his earpods, everything.
Or maybe AirPods, maybe that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you just reprogram them to another phone back.
yeah, very easy, very easy.
Yeah.
So I was going to talk about a couple of things. You asked me about coping mechanisms for myself, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. What are your coping mechanisms?
It all depends on what it was that I needed the coping mechanism for. So,
Okay.
so like in a stressful situation, and obviously this isn't what I recommend. If I'm have to think bits and pieces, I will stand there with a fag and a coffee, and that's my time to think. If it's a stressful situation, I will do my breathing that I've learned, and obviously that was a simple thing off of TikTok and Instagram. A guy talking about how to breathe in through the nose, and just as you last bit, go, do like a double intake, and then breathe. Do that 2 or 3 times, and it literally feels like it's not if it works 100% well. I've tried it with my kids. I've tried it with anybody that's willing to go. It will bring the edge of the stressfulness. It's about the inflating another air sac in the back of the nose, and it basically gets rid of the carbon monoxide in your body a lot quicker. That will bring your anxiety a little. It won't cure it. It brings it down a little bit.
Isn't that nice? Distraction is key. Like,
Distraction is definitely key for it.
yeah, and even just all the words you just said, the sack and the stuff in your brain and stuff, and bringing your anxiety down. They're just words to do that. Like, the element of placebo is a thing for
100%.
a reason.
Yeah.
So if it works for you, then it could work for other people. It won't work for everyone because they might not believe it. You have to be in a headspace where you go, oh, it does.
Yeah, so like my son, he's at the stage now where he's just finished his mocks. He knows roughly what he wants to do, or the idea of where he wants to go. He wants to be an electrical engineer because obviously the way the future's going, electric cars, electric everything. And he's given up because on Google, it says you must have X amount of GCSEs. The schools have drummed into their heads, you're not going to go anywhere unless you get GCSEs. And he's like, no, well, I know I'm not going to get the 5 GCSEs I need, so I'm not doing it. I was like, yeah, but you can achieve. So I have to be mindful of when I'm in a stressful situation that I don't just go, no, can't do it. I have to be aware that other people are watching, especially my kids. Well, no, listen, there's always a solution for something. There is always a way of doing it. Like, my son's like, no, I've got dyslexia. Dad, you've got dyslexia, right? That's not a hindrance. We see the world differently to other people. I see it as a bonus because I don't think the same as everybody else. I think differently. So I will find, because I couldn't read and write, I will find a way around. There is always to get what you need and what you want. If you spend enough time, even when you do the instructions of like an IKEA thing, you may not understand it, but if you stop, pause, step away for a second, then re-look at it, there is always a solution.
The diagnosis of everything these days, I worry about a lot, because I think there's an element of we may use it as an excuse.
Correct.
And also the element of not trying harder than we might have to. So some people can do things quite easily, okay? And they don't really respect it because they can just do it. You know, you could lean into it and you become better at it, or you can be like, yeah, I can just do that, it's fine, it's easy. But once you come up against something, put it this way, you probably would say your dominant hand is your right hand, yeah? That's how you write with. Majority of people, like 90% of people, write with the right hand. And then you don't with your left. So you just go, well, I can't do it. So you're not going to, you didn't try. But imagine you tried.
Over a period of time, you would be able to do it, right?
To a certain degree, more than your right natural side, maybe not as good, but you still be able to do it. But what you do, you leave this redundant. So when we start saying people are this, people have this, I am this, I swear it's like a stop.
It gives people excuses, and I am definitely one of these people that was, well, no, I can't read and write. I look for an excuse around it. So now I don't even bother telling people. I will, like, when they send me emails and bits and pieces, I'm like, well, I can't read and write. You should have done X, Y, and Z. I'm not doing it. I gave myself an excuse not to do it because it was complicated or I didn't understand it. So I just hid behind the fact that I have dyslexia and I can't read and write. The world owes me something. Rather than now I see that I have dyslexia, I see it as not that I'm better than you, I think differently than you. I see it as an advantage rather than a disadvantage.
It's just a word that we made up, though, to describe.
You just think differently. You learn differently. You see different things from other people. But rather than being the same, but I think everybody's like that. Even though the education in school is set to a certain way, it's not tailored.
Of course it's set to a certain way. It has to be set to a certain way, because if it services school pupils and it literally looks after 80% and 20% fall down, well, that's the version that would have to be to work. Right. I don't want 20% looked after and 80% not. It doesn't work. It has to be the majority looked after and then the ones don't on the side. And that's a terrible way, but that's how society has to work.
And right, that's what.
And when you get upset about like my kid this, my kid that, why are you not looking after my kid? They're like, because I have other kids in this space, and yes, we can try and get them help, but they also have to want to be helped. And if like they find things difficult, and this is one of the situations that I was listening to, sometimes I don't know if we know how to have uncomfortable conversations anymore.
No, we can't. As a society, you can't have them.
I think you can, and I think that's why we always demonize people who are older than us, because they just say it how it is, right? If you put on a little bit of weight, they're like, you're fat, right? They'll just tell you, right? If you don't do a good enough job like that, that's wonky. They'll just tell you.
My dad is a perfect example
of course, right?
Perfect.
But you come down 3 generations down, they're like, no, they did a good job. They tried, didn't they? You're like, no, it's not good enough.
Yes.
It's not good enough. So if no one's telling people that things are not good enough, guess what happens in the end? Things are not good enough. And I wrote this down in the car. What's easy now is hard later. So if you do anything that's easy now, just take it, for instance, of parking your car. It's probably harder to reverse park, right? So people just pull in.
Yeah.
But later, when they have to get out of that space,
in a situation,
there's more dangers to reverse out. People could be behind you. You might not see anyone. It's not as quicker. It takes a longer time for you to turn around. If you make the tougher decisions and the hardest decisions at the beginning, it's easier later. If you learn how to speak Spanish when you're 4, it's easier
It comes like second
than it is.
nature.
Than it is at the beginning. You're like, but you forget how hard it was to ride a bike, pass your driving test. Learn how to swim. You forget all those things, right? But it's still difficult. But it's much harder later on if you just take the easy route. Like, I'm not going to learn. I'm not going to do it now. I'll do it later. And so, I think whatever is easy now is hard later. And I think we need to look at those situations. And I think what we're doing now is we're taking a lot of the easy roads, and it's slightly worrying. And everyone does this, but you should really be thinking long term, over a period of time, and that's the hard work. Anything that comes easy and quick, you do not care about. If you work for it over years, no one sees that, but you've earned it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But if you're having a shit time, you can hide behind something. Would you use it?
No,
Why?
because it doesn't make my life easier.
At that time, it would though.
Not long term. All I care about really is long term.
Right, and that's what I think everyone's forgetting. I think you're bang on right. I think everyone's forgetting so like right now at school, bits and pieces like that, and all the different stuff. Like, I'd always put it off. Oh yeah, I'll put that in the dishwasher in a minute. I'll do it in a minute. You come guaranteed, come down in the morning. Oh yeah, but if you'd done it there and then, switch the dishwasher on, it would have been done and dusted, right?
What if you?
But it was easy just to leave it there.
If same as
Easy option.
if you have a dish or something like that, if you put it on the side, just do that later, right? But imagine you put it in the sink, not in the dishwasher, in the sink, and you just let it to in water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when is it going to be easy? Is it going to be easier to then do that and then put it in the dishwasher, or is then later on don't scrub, put it in the dishwasher, and then when you open it up, it's still got stuff on it because you didn't scrub it down. You know what I mean? Like, doing the stuff at the beginning means you don't have to do it at the end.
Correct. But do you not think with obviously I have to be careful what I say on this one.
Of course.
Obviously, having autism, ADHD, all the different things, I now look at that, and obviously especially through my kids and having certain things, that is an advantage rather than disadvantage. Everybody uses certain things.
You gotta be careful with that because people lean
I'll
into it.
explain.
No. I'm not saying that people lean into it to get those advantages when they don't deserve them.
That's
why-
where I was just. That's exactly where I was trying to.
We
go.
had that situation that people were screaming and shouting about all their problems and stuff like that. We then can't hear the ones that are not, and they
that
just
do need it. That's where I'm trying to say. So, like my son, he used his dyslexia, and I said to the school, "No, stop! Don't let him. Oh, but we'll get him. No, stop! Listen, stop trying to give him an excuse. You're giving him." So, and I said, didn't tell him he had dyslexia. You told him. And the moment you told him, he used that as an excuse, and you couldn't hear the other kid that needed help.
And how can he not use it? Maybe he does need help. I have a really out there idea about dyslexia. It's really out there.
Go on.
Yeah, again, it's still kind of just a word. I was. They said that I had it when I was younger. My dad had it. My sister had it. It's a very easy kind of situation to kind of just throw this. And maybe I just didn't really get excited about reading and learning and stuff like that in the way for me. I found other ways that I like doing stuff. So that was easier for me. But not leaning into the stuff that was harder makes it worse for me later.
Later in life.
So then you have to get a tutor, and you have to do this, and it's horrible. But in the end, later on, it kind of works out, and you're like, oh, I feel a lot better, and I feel a bit more confident. Because I think with those situations is confidence, right? So if you start learning, say you did 18 minutes of reading a book, I guarantee your son never did this, right? Actually reading a book that he cared about, 18 minutes a day. We're talking about right at the beginning. He would be so much better at the end of the year than he is now. But he doesn't do it because he finds it hard. Because you find it hard, you're meant to find it hard, and then you learn how to do it, and then you kind of get more confident with it. That's all it comes to. So my very weird idea about dyslexia is this. So we're built up of DNA from members of families that we couldn't even name. If I take you back 3 generations, I guarantee you can't name anyone. So what's your granddad's name? There you go. Right? So, and it sounds sad. Like, oh, what? You know, I should probably know this. You'd have no clue. You might know your granddad's name, but then after that, nothing, right? So their DNA is crazy. It can be from absolutely anyone. And in time periods, we've definitely had different people from different countries and different languages and blah, blah, blah. So theoretically speaking, when you were created, you might have a little bit of DNA from someone way, way back, right?
Yeah.
You know, you sit in the same way as like a grandparent. You talk or have the same handwriting as an uncle. You know, all these things you have, blah, blah, blah. Maybe the language that you were born into might not be your actual tongue.
Right.
So you might actually find learning German so much easier because actually your DNA is actually part
Because it's been
German.
passed down, right? As in certain parts of
So
that passes
you might
down
just find it a
generation.
little bit more difficult to do the language of where you were actually born. And
I
that's
said
just
that
a
once,
weird.
right?
That's just a weird idea.
No, I actually can see the logic in that because I said there's certain things that I can, like when you go on holiday and bits and pieces, there's certain things that just feel natural. And I'd never been there before and it was just natural. And there's certain things that I'm like, oh, it just doesn't feel like you belong or it's the right place. But that theory, I reckon there's something in that. I generally do think there's something. So like you can get a dog right now from Germany that was brought up in Germany, bring it here, it may know, but you still have to say, like a security dog, say the specific words
You're like, oh yeah,
in Germany, even though it's learned to understand
the English because it doesn't really understand words; it understands the tone and
Yeah, but I think there's certain things that I feel like was it nearly 4,000 to get where me and you here now. 4,000 people had to be in front of us to get where we are now.
Yeah.
So you've got all that DNA and different characters.
How we're wasting it, just sat in a room, just chatting to each other. We could be out there making like amazing things, and we're like, no, okay, we'll just sit in a room, just chat. Really? Do you reckon our granddad's granddad? We were like, what are you doing?
If you went back, right, and let's honestly, getting back to what we were talking, if you went back even 5 generations,
Yeah.
and mentioned ADHD, dyslexia, everyone at school gets a prize for winning, losing, drawing, coming last, coming first. What do you reckon they would say to you?
Well, back then it's survival of the fittest. So anyone else who's just,
Is it still the same? We'll take away all the comfort blankets that humans have created themselves.
physical comfort blankets.
Physical comfort blankets. But in the sense of, it's still the same thing, is it not?
Can you answer this question? Is there anything such as a kid that's naughty these days?
No, there's always an excuse.
That's dangerous.
Come on, name. All right, okay. Well, I'm willing to open this out.
Is there a naughty kid these days, or do they have something? I worry about that because can't you just be naughty? You know what I mean? Why do you have to?
But do you not think these things existed back then? They didn't just happen in one generation, did they?
No, the tolerance allows it, and I think back in the day, especially working in schools and stuff like that, it used to be parents and teachers
Working together
and telling off the kids. Now it's parents and students telling off the teachers, and I'm like, I'm sorry, go and look after your own kids, then, mate. Go on.
I agree with
Have them at
some of
home
the
now.
stuff that I've like. So you got a detention for what? Yeah, no, I couldn't be your teacher. I would have literally lost my head. How dare you speak to your teacher like that? And I won't have it. It's disgusting how some of these students act.
But we've done this.
We created it though.
What's the consequence?
They get detention. But
No.
this is bad
What's
to
the consequence? Really?
later down in life, they're not going to get where they need to be.
No, but like I'm just saying, like kids have no consequences now. What are the tellings off? What is it? Give me your phone, okay? Like there's nothing. I told you, go and tell off a kid in the park now.
Oh, you'd have everybody on you, wouldn't you? Parents, or how dare you? He's got this, or she's got that.
Go and do it.
That was down there. Yeah, you can't. You can't physically do
And
it.
as a child, how many times are you told off by absolute strangers?
Oh my God, yes.
All the time.
Yeah.
You're like,
I
sorry.
remember being marched
Sorry.
home.
Can you imagine that?
Your son did X, Y. Oh,
But it is changed, and
even the police can't deal with half of what's going on. I wouldn't. When obviously the police station was here in Thiel, my God, if I got in trouble and the police took you home because you'd done something naughty, and my mum, she probably, I don't know if this is politically correct, would got the wooden spoon out or the slipper. I would have got it.
Yeah, that's what happened. But there was consequences. Unfortunately, what happened with that situation is sometimes, unfortunately, back in the day, you could, smack a kid, right? You couldn't brutalize them, though. And I think that's a problem about, like, there's an element of, like, you can't beat them to a pulp. That's not it. But there has to be an element of, I could.
The threat's there, isn't it? In a sense of, I ain't doing that. My mum's going to go,
no, there's no threat.
No. Even my own kids, I've said to them, don't eat in the bedrooms. You'll get grounded.
Have you smacked your kids?
Yes.
Recently?
No. They deserve it. No, in a sense of, I think I went too far in the other extreme, smacking them, trying to keep them in line and bits and pieces. It's now finding that happy medium where, all right, you've got to kind of guide them and let them make the mistakes, but it'll be also there as they pick them up. Okay, well, yeah, well, you got detention. Yep. Oh, yeah, by the way, I've just agreed with the school. You get X amount of detentions, you're now going to give up a Saturday. Take you away from your friends. When they're all there and it's sunshine, they're going down the lake. What? Oh, yeah, you know that pocket money? Yeah, I've donated that to the school. Well, I'm supposed to go out with my mates. Oh, yeah, you want me to take you to that party? And your mates stay over.
You have to really commit on those situations because you have to make sure that you can take the fallout because of that. Because if they know your tolerance is an hour and they scream for 2 hours,
yeah, that's the one thing I'm quite stubborn. It literally to the point now, like I said, I'm not arguing with you. You take the punishment. So like my eldest is going, okay, and he'll stay because every time he asks, can I have my phone back? I just look at him and walk off. I would have given him his phone. If he'll leave it 2-3 hours and doesn't say it, he's worked out. If you just don't say, at some point, I'll go, there you go.
What
if you keep asking, I'll keep extending.
What if you're putting credits with Dad and he was just like, that's fine. I messed up and stuff like that. I'm gonna go to your van. I'm just gonna clear it out and just get you got wrappers or anything like that. I'm just gonna hoover it out for you and I'll put the stuff in the bin and I'll take the bins out as well because it's bin day tomorrow and I'll run the dishwasher. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I understand it. Right. If he went and did all those things and then just sat down in his room and just was there, you probably walk into his room with that.
Exactly. That is exactly what he's cottoned on to.
Mate.
He's cottoned on. Okay, I've messed up. How can I correct it? So like he got grounded. He was supposed to be grounded for a whole weekend. In the end, he was grounded Friday. I took his phone, took everything like that. I went upstairs. Oh, bathroom's clean. Oh, he's even taken the empty toilet rolls downstairs. Oh, bedroom's tidy. And he's hoovered the landing. And I went, here you go. You can go to your party tomorrow. You're still grounded for tonight, but you can go to your party tomorrow. Done.
And what you're doing there on a consistent basis, if you are doing that, is you're teaching him how to be a good partner to someone in the future, that they can do those things. They know how to do those things. They know how to clean their bedroom. They know how to do the washing up, do the hoovering, all that sort of stuff. But because they have to take responsibility, because once they leave you and they don't have any of these skills, there's a problem. Now, kids are now, including myself, probably including every single person in this room, right, are leaving school and they can't do anything.
See, now that's the one thing I have to thank my mum. I had different girlfriends and bits and pieces. She'd go, he's domesticated. He knows how to do the washing. He knows how to cook. He knows how to do the ironing. He can look after himself. He knows how to do everything. And my mum would be like, don't allow him to give you the excuse. I don't know what I'm doing. He knows exactly how to do it. I've taught him everything he needs to know. I'm like, well, there's no excuse. You've just literally taken what we'd say the excuse out of. Yeah. Well, I don't know how to do that. Just to get your own way. But my mum would say he's domesticated. He can do it all.
So good. We're rattling on a little bit. Let's tie this down and end for the finish line. How are we going to finish this up?
It keeps changing in my head. Thought of the day.
Thought of the day.
So go on then. What is your thought of the day?
I think you need to learn how to give and receive feedback that's critical. And I think you need to work on that and not be upset about it, but learn from anything that anyone's telling you. You want to hear it or not, that's fine. In that moment, probably not if it's critical. But you have to take it on your chin and just go, right, I'm going to sort that out and I can do that. Because people are only going to tell you stuff that you probably don't want to hear. But that's only probably to make it better for you. In the short term, it doesn't. In the long term, it does.
Not a bad thought of the day.
Yeah, there we go. What about yours? Is what it is.
No, mine was basically no, not specifically, no.
Specifically, yeah.
I did get it right.
Yeah, you did.
Specifically,
Yeah.
it's about taking responsibility for yourself.
Ooh.
As in the routines, what you put into yourself is what you'll get out of yourself. What you put into life is what you'll get out of life. If you can't be bothered and you want to hide behind an excuse and not use that as your strength, that's your choice. Nobody's going to take you and make you better. You have to want to do it for yourself. So like, I want to be able to get my mental health to a certain level that my kids can learn from that so they don't go down the same paths. And I think that's what generations should have learned. Each generation should take something positive from the generation before them to keep going, and eventually it should undo itself.
Just asking for help. That's great. Another lovely episode of you, Scott. Thank you very much for having me as your eternal guest. I think that's what we're calling myself. If you would like to like and subscribe, like I told you to, please do that. Share with your friends and family. Also, we've got other episodes with Chelsea and
Jack.
There we go. So check them out. Some really, really nice ones from both of them. Some great guests. And we are also on any platform that you could ever think of. We're definitely on it. Are we on it? We're on it.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, massively.
If Kai had done his job properly.
Hey, of course he has. He's
Of course
wonderful.
he has. That's what I'm saying. We're on every platform.
Wonderful.
He's done his job.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.